Hello, today we will be converting a rectangular equation to a spherical and cylindrical equation. So we are given the problem, convert the rectangular equation x squared plus y squared minus z squared equals 0 into 1, a spherical, and 2, a cylindrical equation. So there are two parts to this question where we are converting that rectangular equation into a spherical and cylindrical one. Alright, so we begin with x squared plus y squared minus z squared equals 0. So what we're going to do first is move the z squared to the right so that we have x squared plus y squared equals z squared. This is easier because when we look at our little legend, we see that x and y have their own separate components as well as z. So while we do that, we convert x squared into rho squared sine squared phi cosine squared theta. Y squared is now rho squared sine squared phi sine squared theta. So that's on the left side. On the right side we had z squared, which is now read as rho squared cosine squared phi. This was all obtained from the bottom legend at the right. We just simply plug in as so, as well as apply the squared that is applied in x squared, y squared, and z squared to each separate component. So looking at our equation now, we can now factor out rho squared sine squared phi out of both those two components on the left side. The right side stays the same. What's really nice now is that it's simplified. So in that parentheses we have cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta. And we know from previous experiences that that equals 1. So now we can take that out, and now we have on our left side rho squared sine squared phi equals rho squared cosine squared phi. So we have that. To simplify even further, we're going to go ahead and divide the right side by rho squared cosine squared phi on both sides. So now we have 1 on the right side, and on the left side we see that rho squared cancels out on top and the bottom. So now we have sine squared phi divided by cosine squared phi. And we know also from previous experiences that that equals tangent squared phi. So our answer is tangent squared phi equals 1. We can go further and look into the angles that make this up. For now, we're just going to leave it as so. Now to convert this into a cylindrical equation is much simpler as there are less components that we have to worry about. So as before, we're going to go ahead and move the z squared to the right, so we have x squared plus y squared equals z squared. Now looking at our legend on the bottom, we see that x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So go ahead and substitute that in, so now we have r squared equals z squared. So now we want to get rid of the squared, so we square root each side, and we get r equals z. So our final answer is r equals z for our cylindrical equation. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helped on how to convert a rectangular equation to a spherical and cylindrical equation. My name is Magdalena Guillen, and I'm with the University of Texas at El Paso, currently enrolled in Math 2313, which is Cal 3.